Welcome to Empowered Echoes 8, where we delve into the meaning behind famous quotes. Explore influential words' context, history, and significance, and expand your understanding of the world. It is our way of explaining these famous quotes.
To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. J.K. Rowling. This quote is spoken by Albus Dumbledore, a fictional character in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. It suggests that those who have a well-organized mind, or those who are mentally prepared, do not fear death as much as those who are not. Death is often seen as a dark and terrifying concept, something that we humans tend to avoid talking about or even thinking about. However, Dumbledore suggests that with a well-organized mind, we can see death as just another adventure, a journey into the unknown. The idea of a well-organized mind implies that we have the ability to control our thoughts and emotions, to accept the reality of death, and to not let it control us. If we can come to terms with the inevitability of death and mentally prepare ourselves for it, we can live our lives more fully and without the fear of what comes next. It is important to note that Dumbledore is not necessarily saying that death is something to look forward to, but rather that it is a natural part of life and should not be feared. By embracing the idea of death as an adventure, we can live our lives more courageously and make the most of the time we have. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking's quote, "Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change," highlights the importance of agility and adaptability in the face of the ever-changing world we live in. It emphasizes that true intelligence lies not just in acquiring knowledge and understanding, but also in the ability to apply that knowledge to new situations and make adjustments as circumstances evolve. Intelligence is not a static trait, it is an ongoing process of learning, growth, and adaptation. In a world that is constantly changing, those who can adapt to these changes more effectively are the ones who will thrive and succeed. Here are 3 key aspects of this quote that make it so insightful. Number 1. Change is inevitable. The world is constantly changing, and this has only accelerated in recent years due to technological advancements and globalization. Individuals and organizations that cannot adapt to these changes will be left behind. Number 2. Intelligence is not about being perfect. It's about recognizing when things need to change and having the ability to make those changes. It's about being comfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity. Number 3. Adaptation is a skill that can be learned and developed. Intelligence is not a fixed trait. It can be improved through practice and experience. By actively seeking out new challenges and learning from our mistakes, we can become more adaptable and resilient. In conclusion, Stephen Hawking's quote reminds us that intelligence is not just about knowing things, it's about using that knowledge to survive and thrive in a changing world. It's about being agile, adaptable, and willing to embrace the unknown. Everything you can imagine is real. Pablo Picasso. This statement is frequently credited to the popular craftsman Pablo Picasso, and it recommends that all that we can envision to us can turn into a reality. It is a strong message about the force of creative mind and innovativeness. Our creative mind is a useful asset that permits us to imagine and make things that don't yet exist in the actual world. This statement recommends that anything we can envision, regardless of how fabulous or unreasonable it might appear, can turn out to be genuine assuming we pursue it with enough assurance and inventiveness. One understanding of this statement is that it urges us to embrace our minds and not restrict ourselves to what we see as could be expected or inconceivable. It advises us that there are no restrictions to what we can accomplish assuming we permit ourselves to think ambitiously and have faith in our thoughts. Nonetheless, it is additionally critical to take note of that transforming our creative mind into reality frequently requires difficult work, determination, and at times cooperation with others. Envisioning something is just the initial step, and the genuine work comes in getting it going. Consequently, this statement isn't just about the force of creative mind, yet additionally about the significance of making a move to make our fantasies a reality. It urges us to put stock in our thoughts and make strides towards making them a reality, regardless of how enormous or little they might be. In general, this statement is an update that our creative mind and imagination have the ability to shape our existence. It urges us to embrace our thoughts and make a move towards making them a reality, advising us that the sky is the limit, assuming that we dare to seek after it. You can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me. C.S. Lewis. This statement is frequently credited to the author C.S. Lewis, and it addresses that there are sure joys in life that can never be completely fulfilled. For this situation, Lewis is alluding to his adoration for tea and books, two things that he appreciates such a lot of that he can never get enough of them. For some individuals, understanding books and drinking tea are pleasant exercises that give a feeling of solace and unwinding. The demonstration of tasting a warm cup of tea while losing all sense of direction in a decent book can be a type of idealism, permitting us to briefly fail to remember our concerns and submerge ourselves in a different universe. Lewis' statement recommends that there is something practically voracious about these delights, that regardless of how much tea he beverages or how long the book he peruses is, he generally needs more. This can be deciphered as an impression of the human craving for fulfillment and satisfaction, which can in some cases feel subtle and challenging to accomplish. In any case, the statement can likewise be viewed as a festival of the delight that these straightforward joys can bring. Despite the fact that Lewis can never get sufficient tea or books, he is as yet thankful for the snapshots of satisfaction and happiness that they give. In general, this statement addresses that there are sure things in life that we won't necessarily in all cases long for and ever tire of, yet that we can in any case track down euphoria and fulfillment in their ceaseless interest. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. George Bernard Shaw. This statement is frequently credited to the Irish dramatist George Bernard Shaw, and it recommends that the reason for life isn't to find what our identity is, but instead to make who we need to be. It addresses that we have the ability to influence our own lives and characters, as opposed to being characterized by outside conditions. Many individuals accept that the reason for life is to find one's actual self, or to discover a feeling of direction or significance throughout everyday life. In any case, this statement challenges that idea by recommending that the genuine reason for life isn't to find what our identity is, yet to make and shape our own characters and ways effectively. This thought is established in the conviction that we are not restricted by our past or our ongoing conditions, and that we have the ability to transform us and make our desired future for ourselves. It is a source of inspiration to assume a sense of ownership with our own lives and to effectively seek after our objectives and desires, instead of sitting tight for them to come to us. At its center, this statement stresses the significance of individual organization and self-assurance in the journey for a satisfying life. By taking responsibility for lives and effectively making our own characters and ways, we can find a feeling of direction and satisfaction that is remarkably our own. Generally speaking, this statement is an update that we have the ability to influence our own lives and characters, and that the genuine reason for life isn't to find what our identity is, yet to effectively make the individual we need to be.
We hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of quotes. Remember, quotes are not just words on a page. They are powerful tools that can shape our thoughts and actions. Use them wisely. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends.